Record to the cloud. Okay, everybody. So I pretty much know everyone on here, I think, but just a quick reminder about Slice of Tuscany. So I plan custom travel all over Italy and set you up with my friends there. And a great example of that today is Paolo Miano. So Paolo, I was thinking about it. Paolo's in Florence, but he is from Sicily originally. I'm not surprised that Sicily kicked him out, but I am kind of surprised that Florence has let him in and let him stay for so long. Paolo, how long have you been in Florence?
Almost 20, 22 years.
It's a long time. And we've known each other for 10, I think. Although it feels like 20 to 25 also. So Paolo does really fun wine tastings in Florence at this beautiful hidden cantina where he works with a restaurant group as well. And he'll do private tastings in there for Slice of Tuscany guests and celebrities. So it's either us or celebrities. He doesn't really do it with many other people. So that's fun. And then he started taking some of my clients to Sicily as well, his homeland, and doing private tours around Syracuse, an area we're going to talk about today, and Mount Etna. And really all over, but it's been a huge hit. We had some people the other day who were talking about their time with him, and I was recalling this at the end of their trip last year. Paolo and the 4 women who are in their mid-60s were calling me 3 a.m. Sicily time, but they're all crying, bawling. Day 4 with Paolo, and they're all in Paolo's crying. They're all like, don't want to leave each other, and had the best time ever. It was really cute. I was like, what? Y'all go to bed. So we'll talk about Sicily a little bit. I want to have a little structure to this because I feel with Paolo, it could really go off the rails quite quickly. So I want to start with a little introduction to Sicily overall that I've put together, and then Paolo can take us through a little bit more. But Paolo, first, why don't you show us your home and where you are there, because we're talking about offering maybe a new experience with you in Florence at your new house. Will you tell us a little bit?
Well, intanto, hi everybody. My name is Paolo Miano, and it's not Gabriella Denisi. It's the name of my girlfriend. So I don't have a 2 name. At this moment, I'm in lockdown in Florence from almost 2 months. 2 months. So I can go out just for buy some food. I'm at home and I'm drinking. I'm drinking a wine. My home is ex oil mill, so it's almost old 300 years. What you can see in my back was the stone for to make really the oil, and that was the other wood machine for to press the olive and make the oil. Oh, I can see from my terrace, you can see the lights of Florence, maybe.
Yes, you could, hypothetically. So we've been talking about actually an experience to where maybe you can visit Paolo's terrace for wine or a light dinner or something like that. It's overlooking an olive grove and overlooking the lights of Florence. So you see the Duomo lit up and everything. It's beautiful. So thank you.
And test the vegetables from my garden. Today, I got the artichoke. And in the next 3 weeks, I'm gonna make the cuppers.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if you can see. Well, So you come in my house, and for me, wine, the life of the wine, my life inside the world of the wine is like that. Guess the people in my house and share. In this moment, after 2 months of lockdown, I'm really understand more what is friendship, what is to share something. For the drink the best wine, you just use your credit card. For to have a friend, you don't need, you can't buy with the credit card. And so drinking a wine and share with a friend is the best. What I'm missing in this moment is this and my family in South Italy.
So on that note, it's beautiful. And I'd like to cheers everybody. If you don't have your wine, missing out. I have the name of my wine written on my glass because I have two here that I'm going to taste. Cheers to everyone, friendship. Thank you all for joining. Happy Mother's Day weekend. Salud. So let me get us started. I'm going to share my screen and we'll do a little intro into Sicily. You know, it's so hard to figure out how I was going to pare this down because Sicily truly has just an incredible history. I mean, Italy does, yes, but Sicily, I mean, you could talk about that, the history, the winemaking, the food. We're not even going to talk about the food today, but so starting off, we'll breeze right through, but this is Siracusa or Tigia, looking to Mount Etna in the background. So we're on the southeastern coast looking north. This is Paolo's hood. I asked him the other day if he could see his house from this picture, but almost maybe. And this is where I love to have people stay. So you stay in this area on the old town. I'm remembering being on a boat with my parents and my dad right here off the coast. And my dad said, it's very Johnson County beige. I just remember that. So let me just we're not going to talk about the whole history, but it's important to know that when we look at Sicily, we are talking about a true original melting pot. And these are people who brought different ideas, winemaking techniques, religions. I mean, there was a lot of prosperity when the Arabs were ruling over the island, but they didn't drink wine. So the grapes at that time that they were growing were for eating. They were making just sweet kind of table grapes. But there are all sorts of influences. We could talk about the topography all day long. We won't do that. I really want to dive in with Paolo. But it is important to say at least that from a slice of Tuscany standpoint, that you could go to Sicily, spend a month and still, you know, not really see everything. There's so much there. So we're gonna kind of stay on the East Coast today because we're gonna drink. Today we're having an Etna Bianco, and then we're gonna have a Nero d'Avola. Etna Bianco is a very specific grape and blend that comes from a small strip of land around Mount Etna, which again, we're looking at right now. We're on the eastern coast in the north in the city of Taormina, which was founded by the Greeks, as well as Siracusa. The whole eastern coast was founded really mostly by the Greeks, and we still see a lot of Greek influence there. But this is the ancient Greek theater in Taormina, looking south down the coast now. So Mount Etna is here. And then we have the larger city of Catania, and then Siracusa is down here again. All very easily done. Again, from a tour standpoint, very easy to kind of conquer some of this area in a few days with myself or with Paolo. And then back to the old town of Siracusa. Paolo told me I had to include a lot of photos here. And then we have the southeast corner of the island. It's known as the Baroque area of Sicily. And here we have the town of Noto, which is, again, very easy to see if you're kind of doing like a week to 2 tour of that side of the island. Fantastic food culture, amazing history there. So I want to talk about the wine regions. You can kind of divide them into sections, but what we're looking at really today, we're going to talk mostly about this small strip of land around Mount Etna. And I don't know how to hide this. So we have the area in the northeast, which is where the Etna Bianco comes from. And then Nero d'Avola is a grape, and it's the principal grape of Sicily. And it's really grown all over the island, though there are some specific regions where it can have some standout, really knockout wines that are 100% Nero d'Avola. But today we're going to focus on Etna and this area that Paolo is from. The wine that we're drinking today, the Planeta Etna Bianco, is 100% Caricante. I was going to say Carato, but that was on my screen. It's 100% Caricante, which is a white wine that is native to the slopes of the mountain. And so when we look at Sicily and we're looking at this island, the biggest region in Italy, the biggest island in the Mediterranean, these hot winds, it's right off the coast of North Africa. It's got these hot winds, this great Mediterranean climate. And then around Mount Etna, it's insane because the mountain's so high, the volcano is so high that it actually has alpine temperatures. So this small strip of land that we're looking at is really unique. Obviously, a lot of soil formed by the lava. It's snow-capped in the winter. So a really unique area that Paolo will tell us more about. But I wanted to, before he gets started, Planeta it is a larger company, and they do have this beautiful video that I wanted to show first because it is quite stunning. So we'll do that hopefully now. I couldn't get this to work the other time. Oh no. Hang on, let me see what I can do real quick because I think it'd be worth it if it works. Oh, this is gonna make me start sweating. Here.
Don't worry, we have a time. We have a time, we have a wine.
That's true, that's true. Why isn't it doing it? Can you still see my crazy screen?
Sorry.
Go ahead, Paolo.
Oh, well, we are talking about Etna and we are talking about Nero d'Avola. Oh, we are talking about a grape. The name of is Nero d'Avola, is a red. And we are talking about Caricante. It's a grape for a white. But just a step behind, what are we looking for when we drink a wine? What are we looking for? We're looking for a relaxed, looking for a sharing a moment with some friend.
Can everyone see Paolo now and not my PowerPoint? Okay, great. Sorry, Paolo.
Go with the PowerPoint if you want.
No, please go on ahead. I'll see if I can get it to work later at the end.
When I drink a wine, it's like for me to meet a new person, okay? The first thing when you meet a new person or you just smell a wine, you think, it can hurt me? This wine is bad for me? No, okay. And after 2 minutes to talk with this new person, you try to understand if this person is a good person or is a bad person. It's the same with the wine in the glass. After 5 minutes, you listen to speak this person, you try to understand where he's from because the accent is from Texas maybe. No, it's from Missouri or different accent. In the world of the wine, when we drink a wine, after the moment that you share and being relaxed, we try to understand where from that wine. And go in a wine tour or come back in Sicily, it's like to try to understand where he's from, where he was born. He was born in the center of the world, that world. 3,000 years ago was that world. Sicily is full of a different domination. And try to understand where a wine is from is the best for the wine tourist. If you want to know a new nation in a travel, you taste the food and taste the drink. If you go in Thailand, you're looking for a cheeseburger, it's a different moment. What is a rich Sicily? When I'm talking about Sicily, my eyes, they're crying because I'm living in Tuscany, but I'm going Sicily every time I can do it. It's this mix between different domination, different way to make a food, a different history, a different story for the wine. Caricante is the white and is made in the Vulcan. So everybody, the people, they know in one day they can die around the Vulcan, around Etna. They know in 1 hour, maybe the vineyards doesn't exist. Because that land where they have the vineyards, it's from a lava flow. We need to wait 200 years to make the vineyards. The lava flow become lava stone and after lava pointer. So you understand that when you drink that wine, it's not just a wine. It's what the history is in the back. Working with a terrace because it's a volcano. It's not a flat land like that. And so there is a work. For what? For to have a wine and for to share this wine. Caricante, he was born in Sicily. Caricante is there. Etna is the home. It's at home. And when you are home, you are relaxed. You are with your family. A Caricante in the Etna is like that. When we talk about Etna vineyards, we talk about over 500 meters. From 500 to 1,000 meters. All the exposition, it's east. And so in the night, there is the snow. In the morning, they take the sun at 7 o'clock in the morning. That's different with the temperature, give a unique soil, unique terroir. Can I make a sense? I don't speak a good English. It's 2 months I don't speak English.
No, that's perfect, Paolo. It absolutely does. And I think, so I want to show this video because I was going to ask you to paint a picture of what we see when we go up the side of the mountain. But this really does take us there. So I found the video. I'm just going to share that real quick because it's really indescribable. You are, down here at sea level, these beautiful crystal blue waters, these ancient Greek cities, and you just start driving and you are driving like this. I drove a little car once with 2 clients in the back seat who were holding on for dear life. You're driving straight up and you see these vines next to you and you see the mountaintop up here. And then you see, and the roads are this wide. It's really incredible. And to think about the homes and the wineries, and he was saying, they're terraced wineries because it's so steep up there. Let me just show you, I'll do this again, show you real quick this video. Can everybody see? mean, it really is stunning, and I hope that you can go there some point with Paolo or myself, actually. um, so let's taste now. Let's talk about the Etna Bianco and the Caricante. I'm gonna allow people to unmute themselves. If anyone wants to jump in, let's see how it goes. We'll play this a little looser than some of the other ones, but you can always ask questions in the chat too.
Well, we can say that when we test white from Etna, that's not a full of parfum, like it can be a Gewürztraminer, it can be a Müller-Thurgau. It's a quite dry grape. We can find inside a white flowers and some sulfur, because the land is full of sulfur mineral. But I'm not a surgery technique of the wine. First thing I like to ask the people if they like or don't like, because we have a different mouth, we have a different nose, we have a different sensation. And so I can feel in my glass a different flowers, but that is not important. Like a baby, when we drink a wine, our body said if it's good or bad, the baby said, And so my first thing is try to believe in your mouth. Try to believe in your sensation. I can tell you it's the best wine in the world, but if you don't like, you don't like. And so what I say that the people, when they want to test the wine, is try to learn with your mouth alone. What we're drinking is a dry, but when we're drinking, we know we are drinking that land we're from. This is important because you can imagine the respect of the nature they have, these people, for to have a farm there, and the respect they have for the volcano. They live day by day, and maybe they think in 10 years of the future, mind they know they are in a strange land, because no one really with a brain can make a wine there. The Sicilian do it, because the Sicilian maybe don't have a brain. But I would like to know what you think about this white wine. If it's similar to other grape, or you feel this mineral, this sulfur, this a unique terroir, unique land.
Absolutely, and people can be free to jump in. I have two in front of me. Actually, I have the I keep saying Planeta, and
Planeta.
yeah, and I have a Donna Fugata. But they're similar. So obviously they're both Caricante, they're 100%, and so they're both the same grape. What's interesting is always how different two wines can be as well. So I think the Planeta, I think it's got great acidity. It's super fresh, right? So it's pretty easy to drink. And then this one is a little bit more savory. It's got a little bit more herb and spice to it, but both very similar too. What do other people think? Paolo, do you have one at home with you right now?
Yes, I have. I have every time the wine. What you can think, for example, you can test in this type of wine from Etna. They're different from all the other area. Is the exposition is the high, it's a 700, 800 meter. Oh, I don't talk like a scientist, but I talk like a wine tester. The temperature is changed in the last 10 years. So in the Etna, we have a really light wine. If we go down to the flat land near the coast, the temperature is so high. And so it's the time for to work with the vineyards, okay? In Etna, we don't have this problem because it's a hard sun, but in the night, there is the mountain temperature. And this you can feel in the white wine, because normally the wine from Sicily, they are really strong. It's not easy to drink the Sicilian wine. From 2000 and beginning in the end of the 90s, there was a really wine revolution, a new revolution. The people start to talk about the land and not just the wine. I think now the future is the land. I can make a good wine. You can make a good wine. Oh, the first thing is no, who is the winner? The first thing in this moment, who give a respect to the land? Now in the world of the wine, and in the world of the wine in Sicily, we are talking about land.
Mhm.
What you do with your land? You are organic or for the environment, what I'm doing. Because if I have a great land, I can make a good wine.
Mhm.
That is the nature. There is no other way in this moment.
Yeah.
And so
Paolo,
this is a new revolution. Sorry.
no, my fault. What typically, so in that area, with the Caricante, with the Etno Bianco, what are the foods of the area? What are people eating when they're drinking this?
But in the mountain, they have a lot of different type of meat, you know, lamb, cow, pork, and they have the land. They have the land, and so the animal can run. We have a great cheese. We have a fantastic, unique mushroom, just from Etna. We have the almond. We have the olive oil. We have the olive. And so this combination with the wine give you the perfect Sicilian sensation. For me, the Etna is another paradise because we are talking a different type of food. It's a mountain food.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is you are in the mountain and you can see the sea
Yeah,
in
and
the
that's
front of yourself.
yeah, it's so funny to think. I mean, you're only what, 30 minutes from this beautiful seaside town to, start heading up the mountain, and we're talking about totally different wines and foods that you're going to be having for lunch depending on where you are.
Yeah, in Milo there is a square where you can see all the sea. And you turn the face, you can see all the mountain. In the winter, there is the snow. There is the lava flow, and so the fire of the lava flow, and go everything in the sea.
Mm-hmm.
It's a wonderful moment, Echo. For that, I think Etna in this moment, and that line between Catania, Taormina, Etna, Siracusa, Noto, it's a perfect mix between food, mountain, wine, history, and poetry.
And poetry. Yeah.
Yeah. Wine, for me, wine is a poetry. Sicily is a poetry. And, in my tour in Sicily, we don't have the perfect schedule. If we like a place, we stay in that place. If we don't like that place, we go around. Every time is experience. You can't just think, okay, it's a holiday. It's a
holiday.
joy.
Absolutely. There's also crazy to think about, but you can absolutely go up and, with boots and coats to the top of Etna and climb through craters as lava has formed, and then, be sitting down at an agriturismo or farmhouse for, wine and a beautiful lunch. So it's so unique. I mean, I can't, being there and being on the side of the mountain and standing in, snow and looking out at the sea right there that you feel like you could throw a stone to, is just so crazy. It's beautiful. Sorry.
You're right. And after that, talking with the people, they make the wine. The 90% of the producer in the Etna, they make the wine because the father was making a wine, the grandfather was making a wine, and so that is traditional for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The tradition to make the olive, the tradition to guest the people. And see, this is a tradition, guest the people, please stay in my table and eating with me. There are a different farm where the owners can make 1 million bottle, but he's gonna sit at the table with you and try to listen to your story.
Yeah. No, the whole time the ladies were with you last year, my travelers, they were just sending pictures every hour, I think, saying that somebody started playing guitar for them randomly. And one of them, I think, fell in love quite quickly. No, it's
But
really
It's my house. It's where I was born. I'm living in Florence, and so every time I go there, for me it's like to go to meet some friend, or some restaurant. For example, I remember I bring them to the cheese farm, and they was making the ricotta cheese at 7 o'clock in the morning, and they opened the farm for us, and we was eating the cheese, the ricotta cheese for breakfast, just really hot, make it just in that moment. It was fantastic, because just if you know the people from that farm, you can go at 7 o'clock when they work and eating the cheese.
Yeah. Paolo, so I think Sicily could easily be its own trip. I mean, you can easily go there for, again, a month and just cover half of it. But so tell people a little bit about Ortigia, the old island part of Syracuse. Like, what does that feel like as you're walking through it? It is an ancient Greek city. How is it than like Florence, for example?
But well, that what is the old side of Syracuse. Like the old side, there was for the poor people. The rich people that was living outside the island. So the island is making with us this a small street. There is a Eureka. There are seven different quarters in Ortigia. And the street, they are like that, 1 meter. So when you walk in that street, you can see the house of the person. The house, they don't have a space. And so they stand in the street with the seat. And so you're walking and say, oh, I'm sorry, ciao, how are you? Everything is okay. There is the Jewish side, the Eureka, is one of the most fantastic, because the street goes straight to the sea. Ortigia is all around the sea, is an island. In the 90s, a lot of person, they leave Ortigia because the house was really old, and now you can't rebuild again. So some old house, they stay like that. But if you now in the summer, you walking from that street inside the small street of Ortigia, you smell jasmine, you smell basil, you listen Sicilian slang, and well, I'm smelling some tomato sauce ready for make a pizza. Ecco. When we're talking about experience is not just to go in the desert and see if you're gonna be survivor for 1 month. You know, it's not like go in the Borneo and go hunter with the Amazon people. It's not like just that. His experience is try to understand another culture, try to walk in that street like you was a Sicilian.
Yeah.
That you can do it because that are my street. And so for me, it's natural to bring the people with me around the Syracuse and Ortigia. That is the magic part. And after you turn the head and you can see the temple of Apollo. It's 3,000 years ago. You can see the Duomo is 100 years before Jesus Christ. So it's that mix. It makes unique that land.
So tell people a little bit. So Sicily's, we're not going to dive into the food world a ton. And I don't know if people watch, I was thinking about this, watch The Chef's Table on Netflix. It's a beautiful series. One of the latest is last season's, either 5th or 6th, I'm not sure, is about a pastry shop in Noto, I believe. I think it's called Cafe Italiana, but it is so Sicily is known for its food, specifically pastry and sweets. Tell people about what you might commonly eat, like for breakfast, Paolo, in Sicily in the summertime.
Così c'è granita. Oh, well, in my tour, every time we're gonna meet in Noto Cafe Italia Corrado Assenza, he make the best dessert in the world for me, all the best in Sicily. I told you we are a different domination. A different domination, I mean, we are a really poor region. So for the breakfast for us is normal to eat like ice almond cream. It's granita. It's our breakfast.
It's a
I
brie
know it's strange. It's almond granita because the best almond in the world, they are in the area between Syracuse, Avola, and Noto. So for us, the breakfast is that one.
It's amazing and it's a specialty. And I think I had clients who were like, Sally, he gave us like ice cream for breakfast. I was like, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. He gave you the most typical breakfast in Sicily possible. It's a brioche with granita, and you like dip it in this almond icy granita. It's beautiful. So one thing I have to ask you, Paolo, generally when Paolo and I talk about wine, we talk about it like a person. So Paolo, if you had to describe the Etna Bianco, this Caricante grape, which this grape is known for having really high acidity. And it's a really unique grape because often what they will do, though it's a white grape, they will age it a really long time. Well, they'll let it on the vine for a really long time to try to bring naturally that acidity down a little bit. But then they'll also age it in wooden barrels for the same reason, to get rid of some of that malic acid and bring it down and calm it down a little bit. So it's a super interesting wine. And again, the Caricante is really not grown or produced outside of that small little Etna Bianco area. But Paolo, so you're drinking this wine too. How would you describe this wine? What personality would you give it?
Well, it's not a right personality. It's a good person, and you can have be a great conversation for aperitivo. And it's a white. I every time I think about wine like a person, you know. With this wine, you can have a great moment for aperitivo, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, with 2 olives and a couple of slices of cheese. It can be the main wine. For example, if you have some chicken, if you have some fish, some trout, some salmon, it can be a white if you don't like the red for the meat. What I describe is a Sicilian person. Is a rich inside. He opened your table, but you know, in the past you have had a hard moment. The white is not full of parfum. I told you before, like Müller-Thurgau or Gewürztraminer. You can just feel there's white flowers, but it's most important, the sulfur and the mineral you feel. The acidity in the back can help you to ask another piece of bread, piece of cheese, and start to drinking again. What we're looking for in a person in a wine is the balance. And this wine, the Caricante from Etna, in Planeta, a lot of different wine from Etna, they have the balance between alcohol, between parfum, and acidity in the back. That acidity is the way you ask in another glass.
Mm-hmm. I want to know from others who are drinking it now too, what do you think and what personality would you give this wine? I think it's like, okay, so I'm going to go for it because this is what we usually do. Okay. So flights under $600, DC to Sicily next March. We're there. Let's go. Spring break. So I was going to say, I'm going to give this wine a girl in her 20s. That's what I'm going to say this wine is. She's not effervescent. She's, you know, young. She's kind of figuring out what's going on, but she's ready. She's like getting out, getting ready to go party. This wine was like me kind of in my 20s.
And maybe still today.
Maybe still.
Yes.
Yep, can be, but you can feel in the back of this 20 years old girl, there is a great family.
Don't kiss up to my mom.
I don't know is your mom. Hi, mom.
Ciao, Paolo.
Ciao, mom.
Ah, that's funny. No one else has anything to say about it. Well, there are all different producers. There are all different kinds. Fresh, lively, and fun. Definitely feminine, but sassy. Yes, me in my 20s. I'm telling you.
And still.
What else was I gonna say? Oh, so again,
We
all
have the
different.
red too.
They're all different. He mentioned a town of Milo, which is a little town on the side of the mountain where they can produce actually a superiore version of the Etna Bianco. And when you look at the Etna DOC, so we talked about Italian wine law, DOC, DOCG, all that stuff previously, and it's in a document on the website. So I'm not going to get into all that. But the only real wines that they produce in that area, which you saw was quite small in overall wine production in Sicily. Sicily used to be known for, you can all probably say it. What wine do you think of when you think of Sicily? Marsala. Most people think of Marsala. It has that terrible cooking wine reputation from the western coast of Sicily. It also really, was known for a long time for making bulk wine. But it's, again, one of those things in the 90s and the 2000s, they started having this resurgence towards these quality wines. So using the native grapes on the native lands and producing really good wines. So in Etna Bianco, or Etna Rosso, I have a bottle as well. This Rosso, which you all don't have necessarily, but this winery is one where Paolo loves taking my guests when he's there, Tornatori, to do private tours and tastings with the family there. But an Etna Bianco must be made from Caricante principally, that grape, which is only native to that area. And an Etna Rosso must be made by these two other red grapes that are also only grown in that area. So it's so unique to find that land, these grapes that really aren't grown anywhere else. So it's a fun way to travel and explore kind of new things. But anyway, we'll continue and talk also about, I have something in my glass. Talk also about the red that you all have, which is Nero d'Avola. And I think everyone has this same bottle, if I'm not mistaken. Nero d'Avola is the name of the grape. And it is from southern Italy. It's from Calabria and Sicily, both. But it's a really standout grape in Sicily. And it's produced all over. Again, it has a few certain places where it's kind of made on its own, and it's a knockout bottle, 100% Nero d'Avola. But Paolo, tell us a little bit about this grape and the personality and what, flavors and what we're tasting of Sicily when we think about Nero.
Mi cerchi Alberello, per favore. Oh, well, like you said before, the grape was Greek, and it came from the Greek bring to Calabria, but just in near the town of Siracusa, this type of grape found home. There is a town where near I live. The name is Avola, and so Nero is a black. And everybody in Sicily in that time that was coming with the boat and said, "Oh, I really like that wine." Which wine? The black from Avola. In the beginning, it was a really strong wine. The production in Sicily during after the Second World War was a really big production, but we wasn't a really good seller, and so we didn't sell that. We didn't make the wine inside the bottle. We found just the French people because they are smart and they sell the wine really good. And we sold the Nero d'Avola from, I think, from long time for cut the champagne. Because the wine in French, sometimes they don't have the alcohol, you know? And so they imported the Nero d'Avola from long time and use it for make the champagne or other wine. That is history. In the 90s, we start to make this second revolution wine. And before, I remember when I was young, I'm 47 years old. The next week, I'm gonna make 47. When I was young, was a really cool drinking Nero d'Avola because it was strong. Oh, I like this. This is a really strong. It's like a Marone. Now it's changing. You don't like the strong wine. You like the drinkable wine. I don't want to be stoned when I'm drinking a wine, a glass of wine. I want to be happy. It's different. And so they changed the way to make that wine. I told you before, they were selling the wine to the French. And so if you make a huge production, you get a lot of money. It's changed now. Less production, more quality. Mm-hmm. If the grape is full, it's big, it's full of sugar, they give me more money. But the wine is really strong. Now, in the Nero d'Avola, because it's not in the mountain, but it's in a flat land, it's near Noto, it's near Syracuse part. Another part is in the center of Sicily. Another part is in the west coast of Sicily. We try to make harvest before and try to make a drinkable wine. So now, finally, we have a great market of Nero d'Avola. It's not really a posh person. Nero d'Avola is what you see normally, okay? Every day inside your house, maybe you're not gonna dress it, you're gonna make the wake up and you just turn with your pajama. Nero d'Avola is the friendly red for us. The friendly for every day, every moment. There are different Nero d'Avola, you know. You can find Nero d'Avola for $20, $30, $100. But in general, the grape, for us, is a friendly grape, a friendly wine. Normally, when I was young, we start everybody to drink the Nero d'Avola after we discovered the vodka. But the first was Nero d'Avola.
Yeah, we've had, that is funny. Somebody commented and said, this wine's personality is the dude. Paolo, do you know
the dude? I like the dude. What's the movie?
The Big Lebowski.
Yeah, definitely is the dude. It's the dude drinking in the sofa. Perfect.
This one I love. So I haven't had this bottle before, and when I was thinking about Nero d'Avola, sometimes I think about it like a Primitivo. They can be made in these really powerful, big body, lots of alcohol. And I was kind of mentally preparing myself for like this big rush. But this bottle is, like he said, they probably harvested a little earlier than normal. So the longer you're leaving a grape on the vine, the more sugar it's getting, the more sugar it has, the more alcohol, potential alcohol you make from the wine. So we have high body, big alcohol, full body wines when we have these big reds that are thick skinned and in lots of heat and aged for a long time on the vine. This is not that. It's more approachable. It's more lively. It's fruity. It's easier to drink. It's not what I was expecting from maybe some of the more, what I was typically thinking, you know, the older style of the Nero d'Avola. But what do you all think of it? The young, bold, and macho man.
I like the idea. He's the dude, the Big Lebowski, really.
Jen nailed it.
The Nero d'Avola don't want to become the king of the wine, you know. It's hard to become the king of the wine like a Barolo and Brunello. It came from the countryside and he still stay in the sofa and give just the minimum, okay? I like the Rudavola, it's fruity, it's a little bit strong, it's drinkable. That's it, the Rudavola.
Mm-hmm.
I like the definition is the dude, is the Big Lebowski. It's the same, it's the same.
Yeah, he's definitely barefoot and probably wearing a robe.
Yeah, those are always good. Okay, go ahead, Tom.
Sally,
Yes.
I think this wine is very drinkable. It's not like some robust reds that you need to take with food. It's very drinkable just on its own.
I agree. I even think like slightly more chilled, something that you just have kind of more in the middle of the day, a little more on the cooler side, keeping it maybe in the fridge for a little bit, totally drinkable.
Very good. Very good.
What else? What are other questions about either the wine or Sicily in general? I mean, I want Paolo to like walk us through like, you know, a typical day of what it would be like if you're there with him, but it might take too long.
My normally day tour in Sicily is a breakfast with Almond, with the client. Catch the car and visit the first farm. So first wine tasting. Or normally I really like to go with the customer in the fish market.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say. Let's
Yeah.
start there. So what I like to do, if you have 4 days, so the Doug Burton group who's logged on here, my ladies in KC,
Hey, ciao.
they were scheduled to be in Sicily with Paolo in just a few weeks in mid-June. And so one of the things that I love to do first is starting off with Paolo in Ortigia, in that old town just for the day. And last time he did this with a group, again, I was just getting text messages through the day. The last one ended with, Sally, we're on our 18th bottle of wine and we've met everyone in town. And they were just doing a little food crawl. So tell us a little bit about like that day and what you would do.
Well, the first day is like I introduce your customer to Syracuse, to Ortigia, and the best way to introduce them is the market, okay? Because in the market in the morning, everybody, all Ortigia are there, and so you can meet. My friend has the shop of the fish. Another friend has all the spicy, like 200 different spicy. You can see the people cut a different way of fish. Or the batch market in the same. It's a really popular market and a really old market where the sellers, they scream, you know? And you need to scream more than the other. The people go and what is scream? It doesn't matter what is scream. Important is scream, you know? And if you spend like 2 hours in the market and we talk with all my friends, they know you are in town, first thing. And so my great point is make your customer to be in the 24 hours Sicilian.
All right. So what are some of the, what are some
because
of the
because the Sicilian, the people, the really Syracuse people, they don't gonna buy the food. They go in the market for drinking a wine and watch the people buy the food. In the end, before they close it, they're gonna buy the food because like that, they can give a discount. But normally, the Syracuse people, the real Syracuse people, they stay at the table between the market, drinking a wine and see what's happening.
Are they drinking wine in the morning like you do?
Well, we start at 10:30, 11 for the wine testing. You need to remember for the wine testing, the best way is to make a wine testing in the morning. I prefer make a wine testing the first between 10 o'clock, you know, because in the morning, our palate is perfect. Our nose for to smell, it's perfect. The first winery of the first testing for me, 10, 10:30, it's perfect.
It's true. You can't drink all day if you don't start before noon.
And after eating in the market, Eating in the market, the street market, the real street market.
So what would you have for lunch that day? Like if you are you want to take someone to have the most typical lunch in Ortigia, what are you having for lunch?
What do you like? For example, when I go in the market, I really like all the fish, the fishermen, and sometimes the fishermen in the back of the market, they are cooking for them. And so I want to eat that. What are they cooking for them? The last time with the photo of your customer woman, we was eating a fried calamari inside the market in the street. I said, what are you doing? I prepared the fried calamari for my employer. Please give to us too. You know, like it's that for me the real experience. And I think if I was living in Sicily every day, become bored for me, you know. But sometimes come back in Sicily, for me it's happiness. And for the customer, if the customer they are with me, it's happiness too, because it's totally everyday discovery, you know.
Yeah. So it's a lot of fish.
And,
it's a lot of fish in that area. Do they do, like one of my favorite places in Rome does this, you walk into a shop, you go straight to the back and you stand in the kitchen and you hand a guy €2 and he is gonna make you a big fried piece of cod and wrap it in paper and hand it to you, and you can eat it right there in the kitchen or walk out with it. What's like a street food like that in Sicily?
But all the type of fish, but normally sun-dried tomato, or olive, or pepper from Pantelleria, a lot of cheese, you know. But the best for me is the fish, the raw fish, the fried fish. There are some big oyster you can see. You can eat in the street with the sea, but it's a poor place, you know. First thing, it's not expensive. Second thing is a real testing. Sometimes you like or you don't like. Sometimes it's a lot of spicy. Maybe some people put a lot of spicy. It's okay, it's the market.
Yeah.
We have had a really different domination, you know. We have had the Greek domination, we have a Spanish domination, a French domination, German domination, Austrian domination, Arabian domination.
Arabian, yeah.
Found in our food culture.
Influences there. I mean, some of my favorite things. So almonds, amazing from Sicily. If you can buy, and actually I can help you, almond paste or like a pistachios, almonds from Sicily are just knockout killer. So getting your hands on some of those dishes. Pasta alla norma, so eggplant is just, you could just eat eggplant on its own, just some fried eggplant and you'd be happy down there. What else? Some typical flavors?
But it depends from the season. But you know, the best restaurant in Sicily for your customer is in my countryside with my uncle,
Well,
with my dad.
I think that's who our traveler, my friend, fell in love with maybe before. I think your dad was, you and your father playing guitar for my ladies at like midnight one night.
My father.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
He was playing Beatles.
Yes. Sorry, Tom?
I wanted to ask Paolo, how do they cook their lamb there?
Lamb.
Lamb. How do they cook it?
I have a two-way. Grill the lamb, or just bake it in the oven.
So grilled.
Normally we don't eat in Syracuse a lot of lamb. It's more in the Etna, in the mountain. They grill because how do you say because they really have a particular type of lamb near Etna. That is really great. I love to eat lamb, but in Etna mountain. Near Syracuse, they are especially for sausage and fish. I tested, Tom, I tested my best lamb in South Africa in November. Was fantastic, really.
So we already have a request, Paolo, that you play the guitar for us.
Now, this is in the end of everything.
How many more bottles do you need?
Oh, no, it's 11 o'clock here.
So 1, 2?
No, I'm locked down, you know, it's a long time I don't drinking after 11. But when we are ready, I'm gonna say hello, everybody. I'm gonna sing just 30 seconds.
Oh, perfect, perfect. So tell everyone a little bit more about Noto and Ragusa. So here, we'll just talk about like what I would plan for you if you were in that area with Paolo, is staying on the island of Ortigia. And then from there, doing like a day trip to Mount Etna. It's only an hour and a half in the car, and doing the wine tour, go to 1 or 2 wineries, meet with the winemakers, taste in the vineyard and in the aging room, and have a fabulous lunch. That's one day. Tell everyone a little bit more about Noto and Ragusa are just south of Ortigia, and they're the more like Baroque areas. So what's so special about those places?
Well, we are talking about really the capital of Barocco. The architecture is just unique in that side, but it's unique anche the food. For example, near Ragusa, there is Modica. Modica is a Barocco town by the hill, and it's fantastic because that's like you need to walk in highway to go in Modica. And Modica is famous for the chocolate. That was all the receipt from Spain and from the Arabic domination. When I go in Modica in Ragusa with your customer, we go in the most old chocolate farm, and we see just for us the way they make the 100% chocolate.
Chocolate farm? I mean, you can grow your own chocolate there in Modica?
He's my friend. With your customer, we've been there. He just put the padella and cook the chocolate for us.
Customer is making me cringe personally. These are all my travelers. So every time you say customer, I'm like, ooh. Mom and Dad, we went to Modica, Noto, and Ragusa.
Yeah.
We were there. I don't know if they remember that, but we did.
In Noto, it's fantastic because sorry.
No, I remember, and Ortigia and Taormina.
Paolo told us about, so this was 8 or 9 years ago that my parents and I went. Paolo told us about a restaurant, and it was our favorite in Ortigia, Apollonian restaurant, and they make Apollonian.
See?
And they had this smashed cannoli that we had for dessert. That was maybe my dad's favorite thing ever.
He still dreams about it. He was just telling Tom and Janet about it.
It's so good. A cannoli, that's another typical Sicilian dessert, specifically Sicilian dessert. But sorry, so go ahead. So Noto, Ragusa, this area, the architecture is unique, the food.
Well, it's the perfect mix between architecture, food, wine, and the sun, the lights. When you are in the south of Italy, the first thing is the lights. It's more hot. I've been, for example, I like when I travel to see the different light. Give me the idea to be in another place of the world. When I've been in South Africa, that was a really light, white light. In Sicily, we have this white, yellow, orange light because it's a strong sun, and the architecture and the color of the Barocco, it change every time when there is a different type of lights. I really like when I go there to see my friend, is a chef honoris of the Libertino. And when I go there, I don't ask the menu. I said, okay, just cooking. And he gonna give me, because he know I love to eat everything, but I can't. And so he make me a 10 different small plate, like a Spanish tapas, but from the tradition, for give me the chance to test all the plate, you know? Because when I go there, I would like to stay 1 week, 2 weeks, but normally I can't.
That's a good tip actually for everyone to do. That's my favorite thing to do going to a new place, even just different towns in Italy, is to just say, I want to eat whatever the chef wants to make me right now. I want to eat what he or she thinks is, the best today and that they are the most excited about. That's always going to be the best food if you're open for adventure.
My preferred plate in Sicily, it's a spaghetti con il ricci.
With the fish.
Orchis. I ricci sono orchis. Hai presente i ricci?
Oh no, sea urchins, I ricci.
Sì. It's better than the truffle, than caviar. There is nothing for me. And you go, for example, in the market, in the Syracuse market, and you can buy just a small glass of that. That is my preferred plate. I become crazy for that.
No, I think you're crazy. Sea urchin. So I hadn't had one until I went to Sardinia.
Yeah.
One time for Easter. So my friends, I'm going to their house in Sardinia, and he said, oh, we have to take this road. And along the road, there were like 5 stands where they're just standing there and they're shucking.
Yeah. It's fantastic.
And I'm game to try anything, right? And we sit there and I'm so excited. They order like 2 dozen and they bring them out basically on like a trash can lid, covered in sea urchins. You're in a plastic table and they put it down and I crack open a sea urchin. I'm so excited. And it was the most disgusting thing I've ever had in my entire life. It was horrible.
It's the most fantastic plate I miss every time.
I 100% disagree with you.
Va bene.
All right. So if anyone has any more questions about the wine or Sicily, otherwise we'll have Paolo sign us off with a song.
Ma veramente devo suonare?
Non lo so, che vuoi suonare?
La canzone siciliana e vi lascio.
Ma sì. Okay, he's gonna play something Sicilian.
Sì, ma non ho una corda, Una corda si è rotta.
Oh, one cord is broken. We don't know. You don't have to tell. You don't have to tell us that. Well, okay. So I'm just gonna cheers one more time. So whichever one was your favorite. Thank you all for joining. Today was a little more casual probably than the other ones, but it was fun. And don't forget about the next ones. Cheers to Sicily, alla Sicilia. Here's to all you. Cheers. All right, Paolo. Sign us off.
Well, before I need to say that Sicilian is a language. It's not a slang. So I speak 2 languages. One is the Italian and one is the Sicilian. It's a mix between Arabic, Greek, Spanish, American too, and French. The sound is it's more Mediterranean or Arabic. For example, in Italian, io oggi mi sono alzato e ho visto il sole. Today I just wake up and I see the sun. In Sicilian is io oggi mi sono suto e hai visto il sole.
No.
It's totally different.
No.
Fuori davanti a porta mezza casa un non mangia carne un arrostuto, pane e acqua, un mondo vergine in natura. E senza sorte non funziona, per una forza da acchiappare, senza una lira, cielo e mare. E poi dall'occhio racciamunno, per una pace come un sonno, per una forza da acchiappare, senza una lira, cielo e mare, cielo e mare. E poi dall'occhio racciamunno, per una pace come un sonno, per una forza racchiappare, senza una lira, cielo e mare. Ciao everybody.
Ciao Paolo,
Yes.
grazie mille.
Ciao, ci vediamo in Sicilia, spero.
Ci
Ciao,
vediamo in
un
Sicilia.
abbraccio. Ciao Selly Family, ciao a tutti.
Ciao, 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 ciao.
Sentiamo dopo, Selly.
Sì,
Ciao.
sì. Ciao Paolo. Allora Paolo, devi cliccare tu che vuoi finire.
Ma mi metto mute, tranquillo.